service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC and Jib Jab greetings. I'm Bud Lowell. Your full AccuWeather forecast is always on top here on your CNC local pages. New York State ended its 2011-2012 fiscal year in the best position it's been in for years, but State Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli says New York can't take its eye off the significant budget challenges coming in the years ahead. DiNapoli said New York achieved major reductions in structural budget gaps over the past year, even in the face of unexpectedly weak economic conditions. But what keeps him up at night is this: the economy has been recovering, but still slower than expected. Despite that, new limits on spending growth in Medicaid and school aid, other reductions made during the year, and revenue increases in December all boosted the state's long-term fiscal outlook. Tax receipts ended the year $233 million below the most recent projections, a shortfall that would have been larger if not for the December tax increases. Staying with government, the Greece Town Hall and Community Center were evacuated Monday due to a gas leak. Crews from Rochester Gas and Electric were called in. The cause turned out to be a tent put up in front of Town Hall for a weekend event. RG&E said workers drove a tent stake through a gas line. When they pulled out the stake, dismantling the tent, the gas began to escape. People in the building began to smell gas at about 1:30 Monday and called 911. The town hall was evacuated along with the adjacent community and senior centers. They reopened Tuesday morning at their regularly scheduled times. Supervisor John Auberger thanked staff for their prompt response and the swift and safe evacuation of the buildings. He had thanks also for the fire service and the Greece Police Department. And by the way, RG&E advises people planning to dig or drive tent stakes to call 811 for information about where underground utility lines are located. From Penfield, a special meeting is to be held Tuesday night at Town Hall for comments regarding the Warrior Salute Home. CDS Monarch wants to locate a recovery center for returning veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder and from brain injuries. Last week, the Penfield Zoning Board of Appeals tabled CDS Monarch's application after some residents and the nearby Rochester Christian School raised concerns. Veterans groups are hoping for a massive show of support. Sticking with Penfield, the Monroe County DOT has closed a section of Penfield Road across from Panorama Plaza. They're rehabilitating the bridge over the creek there, and that will be for the next 6 months. Down in the city of Rochester, Mayor Tom Richards said the city is stable, strong, and moving forward despite expected and unexpected challenges. Mayor Richards gave his first State of the City address at the Strong Museum downtown. He said real estate developments, infrastructure, and public facility improvements, housing and business programs throughout the city totaled more than $1.7 billion over the last 3 years. Violent crime is at its lowest point in 25 years. But Mayor Richards also said fewer than half of city students make it to graduation. He called for an end to adult misbehavior and a constant barrage of new ideas and programs in city schools. Richards said education should be dependable and stable, like adults are supposed to be. In business, Eastman Kodak Company has 3 decisions in its favor. U.S. Bankruptcy Court Judge Alan Gropper has approved a Kodak plan to pay retention benefits to key employees. The judge approved Kodak's motion despite opposition from the U.S. Justice Department representative in Kodak's Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Kodak said its most important top and mid-level managers have been bailing out since the bankruptcy filing in January. It wants to pay them bonuses from a $13.5 million pool of money to make sure they stay with the company. Judge Gropper also gave Kodak an additional 150 days to file its reorganization plan before any creditors are allowed to offer one. Also on Monday, he allowed Kodak to go ahead with its proposed sale of the Kodak Gallery online service to Shutterfly. More jobs are locating in Pittsford from Maximus, a provider of health and human services that contracts with government to help them administer major health programs such as Medicaid and the Department of Veterans Affairs. They provide call center services to these programs. Maximus said it will launch operations on Monroe Avenue in Pittsford, where it will consolidate and relocate several smaller call centers it now has around upstate New York and Pennsylvania. The company told Business Wire it expects to add 325 jobs in the near term and an additional 30 over the long term. And New York State provided Maximus with a package of tax credits. To the left of this window are links to more information on these and other stories. Next news as it happens, updates when necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.